Age spots have a way of sneaking up on you. One morning you glance in the mirror and there they are. Small, brownish patches scattered across the backs of your hands, along your cheekbones, or tracing the curve of your décolletage. They didn't announce themselves. They simply appeared. And then gradually, almost imperceptibly, they deepened. What started as a faint shadow became something darker, more defined, harder to ignore. The medical name is solar lentigines, though most of us just call them age spots or sunspots. Doctors will tell you they're completely harmless, no cause for alarm, nothing dangerous lurking beneath the surface. But harmless doesn't mean welcome. For many people, these small pigmentation changes feel like a visible record of time passing, a mark they'd rather not carry. The distress they cause is real, even if the spots themselves are not, so the search begins. Expensive brightening serums, laser treatments, chemical peels, aggressive depigmentation creams loaded with ingredients most of us can't pronounce. The beauty industry has built entire product lines around the promise of fading those stubborn patches. And the price tags can be eye-watering. Here's something worth knowing. One of the most effective tools for addressing age spots might already be sitting in your kitchen. Unassuming, affordable, completely overlooked. The ordinary potato. Why the potato works. Before you dismiss this as something your grandmother whispered over a cup of tea, consider what's actually inside a raw potato, because the chemistry is genuinely impressive. Potatoes contain an enzyme called catecholase. This enzyme plays a direct role in regulating melanin production. Melanin is the pigment your body produces in response to sun exposure, hormonal shifts, and aging. And it's the very substance responsible for creating those dark spots on your skin. When catecholase interacts with the upper layers of the skin, it can gently interrupt this pigment overproduction, gradually helping to lighten areas where melanin has accumulated unevenly. But catecholase doesn't work alone. Raw potatoes are also rich in vitamin C, a nutrient with well-established brightening properties. Vitamin C inhibits tyrosinase, another enzyme involved in melanin synthesis, and it also acts as an antioxidant, neutralizing the free radical damage that contributes to uneven skin tone in the first place. Layer onto that a range of B vitamins that support cellular regeneration and skin barrier function, and suddenly this kitchen staple starts to look far more sophisticated than its humble reputation suggests. In folk medicine across many cultures, raw potato has been used for generations to treat skin blemishes, reduce puffiness, and calm irritation. It wasn't superstition, it was observation. People noticed the results over time and passed the knowledge forward. Modern understanding of the potato's enzymatic and nutritional profile gives us a clearer picture of why it actually works. The juice is the most potent part. When you grate a raw potato, that liquid that seeps out and pools at the surface, that's where the highest concentration of active enzymes lives. Don't let it drain away. It's the most valuable thing in the bowl. Are preparing the mask. The preparation couldn't be simpler, which is part of what makes this remedy so quietly brilliant. You need one thing: a raw potato, medium-sized, fresh. Peel it first, removing all the skin. Then grate it using the finest side of your grater, working until you have a smooth, moist pulp. As you grate, you'll see the juice begin to gather. Don't rush this step. The slower, more thorough your grating, the more enzyme-rich liquid you'll release from the cells of the potato. Once you have your pulp, consider whether you want to boost the effect. A few drops of fresh lemon juice stirred into the mixture adds mild natural acids, primarily citric acid, that enhance the brightening action. Lemon has its own lightening reputation, and when paired with the catecholase in the potato, show the combination targets pigmentation from two different directions simultaneously. One important note on lemon juice. If your skin is sensitive, reactive, or prone to irritation, skip this step entirely or do a small patch test first. Citric acid is effective, but it isn't gentle on every skin type. The potato mask works beautifully on its own. The lemon is optional, not essential. Use the mask immediately after preparation. Enzymes are fragile. Once exposed to air and light, they begin to degrade quickly. The fresher the application, the more active the ingredients. Applying it correctly, clean your face or your hands or wherever the spots appear. Before you begin, you want the skin free of any moisturizer, sunscreen, or residue that might form a barrier between the active ingredients and your skin. Using a cotton pad or a small soft brush, apply the freshly grated pulp generously over the affected areas. Don't be stingy. You want a reasonably thick, even layer that sits against the skin rather than a thin smear that dries out within minutes. If you're targeting your hands, you can apply the mixture and then slip on a thin pair of cotton gloves to hold it in place. For the face and décolletage, some people find it helpful to lay a piece of cling film loosely over the treated area once the pulp is applied. This serves two purposes. It keeps the mixture pressed against the skin rather than sliding off, and it creates a slightly occlusive environment that helps retain the potato's natural moisture and prevents the active compounds from evaporating before they've had a chance to work. Leave the mask on for 20 minutes. But set a timer and resist the temptation to peek or touch. The first few minutes, the mixture will feel cool and wet against your skin. Quite pleasant, actually, especially on a warm day. As the time passes, the pulp will begin to dry slightly. This is completely normal and no cause for concern. The enzymes are still active even as the surface dries. During those 20 minutes, sit still if you can. Read something. Let the treatment do its work without interruption. What happens after? When the timer goes off, rinse the mask away with lukewarm water, not hot, which can overstimulate the skin, and not cold, which can make removal more difficult. Gently work the pulp away with your fingertips using circular motions, then pat dry with a clean towel. What you'll notice first is texture. The skin will feel noticeably softer, smoother, and somehow more refreshed than before you started. There's a subtle dewiness that the potato's natural moisture leaves behind. Some people describe it as a mild tightening effect. Not uncomfortable, just a pleasant sense of the skin feeling more alive. As for the spots themselves, patience is required here, and honesty matters. One application will not erase years of pigmentation accumulation. What you might notice after a single use is a very subtle softening of the edges of darker spots, a slight diffusion of the color at the margins. The change is delicate, but it is there. The real results come with repetition. Aim for 2 to 3 applications per week, sustained over several weeks. This rhythm gives the catechol time to work consistently against melanin overproduction, while the vitamin C accumulates its brightening effect across repeated treatments. Many people who stick to this routine report meaningful, visible lightening of age spots within 4 to 6 weeks. Not dramatic overnight transformation, but a genuine, progressive improvement that builds quietly and steadily. After rinsing, follow with your usual moisturizer. The skin has been mildly stimulated and will appreciate the hydration. If you're using this treatment in the morning, apply a broad-spectrum sunscreen afterward. Sun protection is non-negotiable when you're working to lighten pigmentation, since new UV exposure will actively counteract everything you're trying to achieve. A few things to keep in mind. This is a gentle remedy. Its gentleness is a feature, not a limitation. Unlike aggressive chemical treatments or laser procedures, raw potato carries virtually no risk of irritation, scarring, or pigmentation rebound for most skin types. It won't thin your skin. It doesn't require downtime or recovery. It simply works. Slowly, reliably, without drama. That said, everyone's skin is different. If you notice any unusual redness, stinging, or irritation during or after application, discontinue and give your skin a rest. This is rare with plain potato, more possible if you've added lemon juice. Also worth remembering, age spots that are raised, have irregular borders, or change rapidly in appearance should always be evaluated by a dermatologist. This remedy is for classic flat solar lentigines, the ordinary sunspots that come with time and UV exposure. It is not a substitute for professional medical assessment when something seems unusual. There's something quietly satisfying about reaching past the expensive jar on the bathroom shelf and finding what you need in the vegetable drawer instead. The potato has been feeding and healing people for centuries. It turns out it was never just a side dish. 2 to 3 times a week, 20 minutes, a raw potato and a grater. That's all it takes to give your skin something genuinely good. Without the complicated ingredient list, the steep price, or the guesswork, sometimes the old remedies earn their reputation for very good reasons. Now, would you like to know which mineral deficiencies cause age spots? Then be sure to check out the video we have linked here. Click on it directly.